Today is Monday, January 9th, and it's 32 degrees. We just dropped off our elementary school kids, and I got stamped. One of my students came on the bus, and she was just like coming in like really close to me, and I was like, is she trying to get a hug? So I was about to hug her, and then she whispers in my ear, and she's just like, I got a stamp. Do you want to wear it? She pulls out this little stamp cylinder. It's super cute, and she stamped me, and she was like, it's a mermaid. And I was like, oh, thank you. And her mom's outside, and I was like, oh, she stamped me, and her mom was just laughing about it. Earlier this morning, I moved a bus for someone. Somebody texted me this morning and was like, hey, I'm not going to be here. Can you please move my bus? The way that our buses are parked when we leave at the end of the day, no one's bus can pass like behind our bus. So we park a different way in the morning versus in the afternoon. And if that bus isn't moved for the morning, it messes up the morning routine for everyone. The good thing is I drive a Bluebird, and so I was able to like pre-trip and get my bus still heating up while I was able to fill up the air pressure and all that other stuff on the other bus, because I have two keys. I have a key for a Bluebird and a key for an IC/Thomas bus. They have the same key. And I just locked the kids in the car with the car running so they could stay warm because it was pretty cold this morning. It's 32 degrees now at 9 o'clock almost. There was like a lot of saturation on the windows, so it was hard to see. I also forgot how to like use the IC bus because I've been using a Bluebird bus like all year so far. So I forgot a lot of things. This was a different model of IC bus also, so I've never driven this one. If it's a different year, the switches are going to be different places, so I couldn't figure out where the doorknob was. I couldn't figure out where the light was. It was a lot. Then when I got the bus out of the parking slot, I still had to park it on the side where all the buses sit that are not being driven. So basically what we have to do is go through this narrow teacher's parking lot where a bunch of cars are like parked, and you have to avoid hitting them. Because I didn't have full visibility with all my mirrors, I was like, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to hit somebody's car. I had already wiped off the mirrors with like a paper towel, but they fogged up like almost immediately. So that was like not great. But anyways, so I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I just pulled out of the bus parking lot, made a left, and tried to like back up all the way as much as I was supposed to on the side. But that didn't work because I couldn't see where I was backing up. I could see that I wasn't like hitting anything, but I couldn't see the curve of the hillish, roadish. It's hard to explain, but I'll show you pictures. We kind of made this mess.
Whoops. We made this mess.
But we didn't make this one.
Oh, who did?
At some point, my bus ended up getting stuck and wouldn't go back anymore. I was just like, wow, I look like trash right now. Like, because other buses were like pulling out to go on their route. So people were seeing me doing this, and I was like, at least nobody knows it's me, huh? So anyways, I at some point realized that I had to give up on the whole trying to back up deal. So then I drove out, made a loop around in the student parking lot, came down very carefully in the teacher parking lot, and then I parked on the side. And by the time I was done with that, it was basically time for me to pull out to go get my high school kids. The kids were still in the car at that point, so I had to run to the car, grab the kids out, and take them to my bus, which was already thankfully like heated up a little bit. So yeah, our morning started off a little bit rough, but it was okay. And then for my middle school route, the kid who did the punching, he's assigned to the front now, and there are other kids who sit in the front. The kid he's sitting next to looks extremely uncomfortable sitting next to him, so now I have to figure out a place to seat that child. It was going so well before. Every kid that came on the bus, they would take the next open seat. That's how the seating chart is. I just don't like the fact that I am being like told where to sit kids in my bus. Like if it was up to me, I would sit that kid all the way in the back because there's like 4 empty seats in the back, so no one would be there to talk to him, and that would be a very good punishment, I think. But anyways, I just work here. We are going to be waiting to do our midday now. Today I have to make an appointment for Ark to go to the pediatrician because he has to get like cleared to do his dental surgery. There was a cancellation, so we're getting put in on the 25th of this month. In order to do that, we have to get him cleared by a doctor to say it's okay, he's healthy enough to do the surgery and get put under anesthesia to get put to sleep, basically. We did this with Liam, so we're just gonna try to set an appointment, and we have to get the paperwork in by this Friday. Right now we're parked outside of the elementary school, and we are going to be driving up to the high school in a little bit, but the kids get antsy at this time, so I just park on the side and let them get out for a little bit. My mom made this yesterday, barbecue jerk tofu with rice and peas, and it's super good. Lunch food or dinner food for breakfast, that's my favorite type of food. What's wrong, Arky?
Look.
Oh, you need to put it in the trash?
Yeah.
But there's no trash bag in the trash? On Fridays, we take out the trash and sometimes forget to put a whole new trash bag in there. We brought cereal today and milk in this.
Yum. Yummy mouth. Don't say no. Delicious.
Okay, so we just got our pediatrician appointment scheduled. It is going to be on Wednesday at 11, so you guys will be there with us.
Don't put this in the trash.
You want cereal?
Yeah? Look at
All of you can press it at the same time.
That's the sweeps.
What is it, Arky?
This one's water.
This one's a leaf?
Yeah, this one's beef.
Oh, nice.
This one's so cute. Oh. Yeah, way too. Liam. Was you? It's about the sweeps. Look, this one's fun.
Okay, so it's 11:30. It hasn't been the most easygoing morning. Yes, I can take off your jacket.
And the milk.
Yes, I'll get milk.
Look at
But we made it through the morning.
Wow! This was so hooping. Mommy!
Okay, we're back for the PM run. I may or may not have seen an officer texting while driving on our way here. I'm doing my pre-trip, so the bus is filling up with air pressure right now. Clay did a math test today and got 100%. Yay!
Yay!
And Arky's cranky, right?
Yeah, I'm cranky. I like that.
You like being cranky? Oh.
Well, I like when I get cranky. It. No, you're the one being cranky. Grandma!
You have to enunciate so everyone knows what you're saying, silly goose. What are you saying?
Hey.
I don't know who he's calling to. We're gonna do the air brake test now. This is what I would look like if I had a mustache. I don't know why the sun is doing this, but it's interesting.
Hey, the sun's not doing this.
What would you look like if you had a mustache, Clay? Come right here. Come right here. Mustache? So we just got done with our elementary route, and one of the kids from closer to the last stops on the bus came up to me and said, "Hey, there's a kid that's banging on the window and now the window is cracked," and that kid happened to be her brother. So I told everyone who was in that seat to move to a different seat. There was really nothing I could do. I had to still drop off all the kids. So now I'm looking at it and someone just scratched the window.
It's not cracked, it's a scratch. Now I know it's just a pat on the back, and I try to relax, but I can't, cause I know that a scratch can turn to a crack any day. So I can't play with a kid who did this. Could have been a hit this time, it just happened to miss. They destroyed a window that was living in bliss, and I don't even think that they understand this is a serious issue. Property misuse, glass scratched up right down to the tissues. And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, you can see that one right there. And then there's another one right here. Not cracks, thankfully. But still need to keep an eye on whoever is sitting in the seat. You tired? No? How are you feeling, Arky? You tired? Yeah. It's been a long day, right? You ready to go home? Relax? How are you feeling?
I want to be sweet.
You what?
I want to be sweet.
You already slept.
And I woke up
Yep.
because me woke up me and I need to sleep more.
Oh.
Go sleep more.
That seat's dirty. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I did pick up some stuff and put them in the trash earlier, but someone spilled some liquid around here, around seat E. Some stuff on the seats. Quite a bit on the floor, actually. So we're going to clean that up because we don't know what it is and if it will attract bugs or whatever. It's got some streams going towards the boy seats as well. And there... Hello. Liam, that seat has a bunch of wet on it. Ew! Good thing you're gonna shower when you get home. And then what else do we have? Some candy wrappers.
Ew!
Random Hershey's Kiss back there. Bottle cap under there. Random gum wrapper, and piece of paper. Candy we were talking about earlier. Random snack bag with partial snacks in it. Random piece of green paper. More gum wrappers. Candy wrapper. Tissue. I don't know. And some crumbs. So I'm gonna sweep that up and I'll show you guys our sweeping haul. This is a pretty small sweeping haul, so not a lot of mess on the bus today. Okay, so I did end up giving that middle school student his own assigned seat. I gave him like a choice of where he wanted to sit. The one I was saying was uncomfortable where he was with the other kid who was assigned to the front of the bus forever. So I gave him his choice of assigned seats and he chose one, so I feel a lot better about that arrangement now. I think that is all we have like phone battery for. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
Bye. 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 Hey, Glove, say bye to everybody. Bye. 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 Goodbye.
We need to buckle you, Liam. Thank you. How you doing, Arky? Good? Hey, Lee. Hey guys, it's Tuesday, January 10th, and it was 23 degrees this morning when we were getting ready for the school bus. My bus actually has some damage on it. Other bus drivers have already asked me what happened, what did I do, like what did I hit, that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, that was there before I got the bus. But yeah, I just took pictures just in case anyone loses track of the fact that it already looked like this when I got it, because you never know.
Hi. Hi. I want to say hi. Hey everybody. Hey everybody.
When I pulled up to go and drop off my middle schoolers, we were doing a surprise front door evacuation drill. We've already done evacuation drills, so I was a little confused. Usually we pull up to the middle school and they'll give us like the blue paper to tell us what we need to do ahead of time. It'll be like, okay, the evacuation drill is going to be tomorrow, and they'll give it to us today so that we have time to look over the paper and sign our names and stuff like that on it. So when I saw the blue papers, I just thought that's what they were doing. I pulled up, I was letting the kids off, and my new lead driver was over there and one of the staff from the school, and they were like, we're doing an evacuation drill back on the bus. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Never done a surprise evacuation drill before. So we just did a front door evacuation drill again. I think I did pretty well, but then when I was leaving the middle school, my lead driver like followed behind me. Just to put this into like perspective for you, even though she's my lead driver right now, she was the one who tested me to become a bus driver, and if I failed the test, she would have failed me to become a bus driver, but I did pass. It was a little nerve-wracking because I was just remembering all the stuff she was saying to me on the road test while I was driving. I was trying to drive perfectly. I was trying to make sure I didn't touch the double unbroken line, and like all of this craziness was just like going through my head while she was driving behind me, because like I knew she was there. It was just like I could see her in my rearview mirror, and I felt like super judged and super put on the spot. Not saying she was actually doing all that, but I felt the pressure, and it was awful because like literally the road that I hate the most is the road I had to be going down while she was behind me, because I was going on my way to pick up my elementary kids. This road goes like down and up and down and up, and I find it really hard to control my speed on this road. So it starts off going 40 miles per hour, and then it gets to 35 miles per hour, but there are like up hills, and that's easy to go 35 miles per hour on the uphills. But when it like slopes back down, you start like hitting like 37, 38 really quickly, and it's hard to like, oh, brake, oh, gas, oh, brake. Like, that's what you're doing the whole road. And I just happened to have her behind me on a road like that. So that was fun. And what sucked about it too was, like, at the end of that road, you make a left onto another road that's 35 miles per hour. That one's pretty straight. So I was going consistent 35 miles per hour. But at the end of that road, there is a traffic light, and it's a 4-way intersection, like a big one. And when I left the white line, the light was still green. But as soon as I started going, it was yellow. And then by the time I reached the other side, it was red. It's a very quick light. And it was so annoying because I just remember her sitting in the middle of the bus during my test, and she was like, if we see you drive through any red lights, it's an automatic fail. This light, though, it was green when I crossed the white line. So yeah, it was really frustrating, and I'm probably about to call my mom and vent about it.
Here's your pizza.
Oh, thank you.
Hurry.
This is my smoothie?
Yeah.
Ooh, yummy smoothie. Thank you. Mmm.
I have some cake for you to eat.
Oh, thank you.
Cherry.
Very yummy. What's this?
And there's some mango. Cherry.
It's a cherry?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love cherries. Yum.
Mango, Mom. Here you go.
Mango? I love mangoes. All right, I'm full now. Thank you so much.
Mom, here you go. There's some $20.
Oh, it's $20? Here you are. Thank you so much for the service.
$1.
Oh, why are you paying me? I got service from you. Here's your $22. Oh, and here's 12 more. Here's your dollars. Thank you.
Oh, Mom, thank you.
Oh, don't eat the dollars. We went in to use the restroom at the tech center today. And as I've said before, I no longer take tech center kids as my midday. So it is a little bit weird me going into the tech center, but at the same time, the tech center is the place where I feel most comfortable taking the kids to use the restroom. I don't know, when I walk into the schools, I feel like sort of unwelcome. I read a room pretty decently, like when I walk in a room and I feel like a shift or a change or something like that. That's how I feel when I walk into the schools with the kids. It's like the high school's looking at the kids like, oh my gosh, there's like little kids in here. Like they're gonna wreak havoc and it's gonna be like crazy. There's one lady that's like at the staff desk and she's like really nice and stuff. But there are other ladies in there and they kind of just like look at us and just look away and don't say like anything at all to us. The way that they look at us isn't like, oh, hi, like a smile. It's just like a blank look and then they look away and continue what they're doing. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. One of the faculty members asked me why Clay wasn't in school the second to last time I was in there. Like, I was just like, oh, he's homeschooled. But even though I had, like, a good reason, it just felt annoying that she asked me. I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm overreacting or whatever. In the middle school, there's, like, 2 ladies that are sitting at the desk over there. They're both really nice, but one of them acts like it's a hassle to, like, open the door and let us in. And she's constantly, like, seeing us. Like, there's this camera thing that you have to click on. And she's constantly asking us, like, through the camera thing, like, what are we there for? As if she doesn't know who we are. Like, you know, months into the year at this point. And the annoying thing is, like, my brother went to school with her daughter. Like, I went to middle school with her daughter, too. So she knows who I am. And she keeps on, like, asking me, like, oh, like, what are you here for? That kind of thing. And I'm just like, we're the school bus driver and we need to use the restroom. And she's like, okay, like, and then when we get in there, half the time she's not even like looking in our direction. We have to walk right past her desk and it's like, it just makes me feel awkward. So anyways, I don't know why I didn't think of this plan before, but I just decided that like during my midday time, I'm just gonna like come to the high school, sit here, hop in my car and drive over to my parents' house, which is like a minute away driving, use the restroom and then come back over and like wait for our midday to start. I'm just gonna do that because the last 2 times we went into the tech center, which was yesterday and today, there's like a new person that sits in the office of the tech center. Before, there was like a lady in there, sometimes 2 ladies, and they'd always look at us and be like, hi, good morning, and they'd be like happy to see us and stuff, which is like, you want to go into somewhere where people are like happy to see you. Like, you don't have to be happy to see me, but at least don't act like I'm a burden to be seen. That's why we go into the tech center, because it's not like a burden to take the kids to use the restroom here. The other thing is, it's not like my kids are going crazy. They're not like running around making a ton of noise. So yesterday and today in the tech center, there's a new guy who sits there and he just stares at us in a weird way. Like, he looks at us like, why are you here? Like, he just opens the door when we click on the button, and when we walk into the school, he's just looking at us for the whole straight path we have to go before we veer left to go to the restroom. The office is like further down and we are walking the straight path and he's just looking at us like that kind of. And I'm just like, this is really, so I'm just like, hi, and I just keep walking and make the left. But yeah, I don't want to deal with that anymore, so to my parents' house it is. And again, this could be just a me thing. I just happen to think too much, but that's like a flaw of my person.
Husband, say bye-bye, banana. Hey, Baba. Hey, Mama.
Is it a telephone?
Yeah. Can I do a job? Yeah. Hey, Joe. Hey, Baba. Hi, Grandma. Hey, Aki. How you doing? Good. Are you going to eat your food? Yeah, your pencil. This is the precious. Hey, Papa. Hey, Mama. Hey, Mama. How you doing? Good.
We're back for the PM portion. Almost done with our pre-trip. Arky is sleeping. I forgot to say that as of yesterday, I was able to deliver all of my thank you cards to my elementary kids. Me thinking it's Wednesday and mixing days up and saying something about Tuesday earlier. It's 4:20. We are just parking the bus. Found some Carmex. I always throw cosmetics in the trash immediately when I see them because I feel like some other kid can pick it up and use it. And even if you get it back to the person who it belonged to, you don't know if someone messed with it. We found some jewelry on the bus today, so there's this golden earring, and then this butterfly necklace also. A student gave it to me and said it was left back there today, so hopefully these both get claimed tomorrow. And then this poppet has been here for quite some time. We're leaving now. It is 4:30. Well, it's after 4:30. We clocked out at 4:30, but the elementary schoolers were really wild today. I'm not quite sure if they got like candy at school or something, but it was like all of them all at once. They were really wild, really loud, wouldn't sit down, that kind of thing. This one girl, she was just like, "Hey everybody, I have an announcement to make," and everyone kind of looked at her and she just went like a banshee. And I was just like, it was that kind of afternoon. And it wasn't just her, it was a lot of them, like a lot of them. We'll see how it is tomorrow. I haven't had a day like that in a very long time. I did have to talk to a couple people, tell them to, quiet down, but usually with my elementary school kids, if I don't like what's going on, I'll usually go over the big speaker and I'll say, I haven't liked the behavior that I've been seeing the past couple days, so I would just want to give everyone a refresher on what the bus rules are. My job is to take you to school and back to your house safely. What are some things that you guys can do on the bus to help me so that I don't get distracted and I can focus on my job? And then, they'll raise their hand and I'll call on them and they'll each say something. And then when I feel like they've touched all the bases, then I'll say, okay, so this is what I expect from you guys. And since the last one, I haven't had any issues. So depending on how it goes, if it goes on for another couple of days, I'm going to do it again. Sometimes kids just need a lot of repetition. So, yeah.
Oh, I say, hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. I want to be hot. I want to be hot. What do?
We need to fix some chest straps over there. It's Wednesday, January 11th, and I am frozen like a popsicle. Doing a walk through my bus right now. It's like 20-something degrees, like 23 degrees, 26 degrees, something like that. And yeah, I'm freezing, not liking it very much. The kids are in the car with the heat on. I am trying to warm up the bus before I get them in here because however cold it is outside, it's way colder inside your bus. Like my hands were outside of my pockets outside when I was pre-tripping and it wasn't so bad. But when you get in the bus, it's like amplified the coldness because you're in essentially like tin can kind of deal. And so it's way colder in here if it's cold outside and it's way hotter in here if it's hot outside. So that's why temperature regulation is important. Today we have a doctor's appointment for ARC so he can get his medical clearance for his OR appointment, which is going to be on the 26th. I'll be taking you guys to that later today. That's around 11, so January 11th at 11, that's how I remembered the appointment. Pretty easy, right? We have our midday today and no kids are writing. So that's why I wanted it to schedule for today. We have to get the form turned in by Friday. So I'm just going to drop it off at the dentist right after we leave the doctor. Yeah, I printed off the form because they emailed it to me already. And then everything should be good. I'm sorry, I lost my track of thought. I'm pretty sure I forgot to continue on a sentence, but it's just frozen. I can't think about much else right now. So here we are over here at 100 PSI. This is what the bus looks like in the dark. There's like a light right here. It's super bright, so it like shines down on everything, which is nice. People have been leaving their jackets in the bus lately. And we brought these blankets in the bus because it seems like they stay warm. We got our cup holders back. During break, we had to take everything off the bus, so I took my cup holders away and I kept forgetting to bring them back. Now the boys are very happy. I brought them back like yesterday afternoon. So they're very happy now that they can hold their drinks next to them. I'm going to turn on the heater pump so the back can start getting heated up. If I turn on the front, it's just going to be blasting cold air in my face, but no one sits in the back, so it gets the heat like working. How many degrees do you think it is?
25. 25.
Pretty much.
25.
Yup, it's frozen. It's frozen outside. Your car seat looks glittery under this light. Yeah, it's really cold outside. I'm frozen. I don't want to... What are you watching?
I'm watching Power Rangers.
Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
I wonder why it's so cold. I like cold.
Me neither.
My favorite.
Not my favorite either. We just dropped off our elementary and the kids are hungry, so we're feeding them now. Okay, so I did some mini pancakes today with sausage and eggs.
Sausage and eggs. I love sausage
Sit, please.
eggs. Oh, can I sit there and eat? Nom nom.
Okay.
Yay, thanks, nom nom.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fork, Mom? Can you kill me?
Can you just sit down and eat, please? Okay, so everybody just ate, and while we were sitting here, somebody just came and knocked on our door. It was a guy that I've never seen before, and he like wanted me to open the door, and I was like looking for his badge, and he was standing like right in front of the door. So his badge was like in the middle of here. I saw a lanyard around his neck, so I just assumed since we're on school property or something, he is like a school person. I didn't want to be rude and keep him waiting, and I saw the pencils right there, which I can use to defend myself very accurately, I believe. So I opened the door, and then I immediately saw his badge, and I was relieved, and I was just like, hello. I was a little bit confused, because I was like, this has never happened before. He was saying we run into each other at such and such intersection, we're always waving at each other. He told me the bus number, and I was like, yeah, I know you.
Walk my hands. It's gone. I want to show you. Joking. Hey, stop it.
So yeah, he just like introduced himself to me, and I told him what my name was and stuff. Very nice guy. And so he was like, yeah, now I know who I'm waving at. And he started this past summer. I told him I started last summer. He has a bus with no AC, and I just told him to like hang in there. Just got to the corals, and we're filling up propane now.
I guess hugging me.
Claymore's gonna be filming today, and we'll see what angles he gets. Thank you, sir.
What they have it for? What Mommy? I wonder what Mommy doing today now. Let's go check on her. What's Mommy doing today now? And he's getting his head. He's getting his head today. And let's go check again. I'm watching you, Mom. Look.
It's 31 degrees now. I think.
What? 41 degrees? I don't like that, Selma.
There's nothing for us to do outside
It's
except
a
for
beep,
wait
beep.
for the propane to stop.
Selma, red beach hat.
Arky, you sure you don't want your jacket?
I'm so tired. I think I can't do this all day long.
Oh, okay.
Can I hold it? It's
Arky,
okay.
upstairs.
Oh, wow. This was so cool. Mommy beats. These people up there. So cool. Mommy shoes. Hey, my shoes. Up there. People has a door. So cool. So cool. Oh, that's me, Ahi. So here. Your face is so funny.
So 31 gallons of propane right now. What about Liam?
Be a bell.
Liam wants to hold it.
I can see Mommy. Mommy, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, Mom. How? Mom, look, I'm 6 years old. I got wishes. Yippee! Meow. When I'm 7, I told this.
It's gonna be pretty big. Are you drinking anything? What are you doing? I'll just have the doctor try to take it. We went to the doctor. Ark got seen and everything. They were trying to take his blood pressure, but he kept on moving all over the place, so they had to take it twice. So I brought the clearance form, and I brought 2 copies because I always bring 2 copies of something in case something gets messed up. The doctor filled out the whole clearance form, and then I needed the office stamp to make it official. I went to the front and asked them to put the stamp on it after the doctor had signed everything and stuff, and the lady who went and did the stamp, she put the stamp over all the the blood pressure and the weight and all that stuff that the doctor had put. So then she had to go off and write it over to the side like what she had covered. So then I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, at least it's legible so they can confirm. Like, you have to squint and really look at it, but you can tell that what she wrote is like what it said. So I was like, okay, I hope this works. Even though this would be a major inconvenience, I would rather like go to the dentist, have them tell me that this isn't adequate, than go to the doctor's office and be like, hey, can we just like redo this whole thing? Because they were backed up. It took us an hour to be seen because the lady was so busy. I didn't want to like add to that. So I was like, okay, I think it should work, you know? I get in the car. We're sitting in the car. I always take a couple minutes to sit and let the car like start up. It's cold out, so I like to let the car like warmed up a little bit. So I'm still sitting in the car. I literally just start to pull out when I get a call from an unknown number. And I'm like, let me just answer this. So I answer, and it's the doctor. And she's like, hey, we just filled out your form, your clearance for your son. And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, oh, we did something wrong. We put the weight wrong. And she said, we put that he was 104 pounds. And I looked at the weight and I was like, bro, I was like, oh, okay, I will be right back there in a couple minutes. I already had the kids buckled up and everything. We were already in the car ready to go. I just left them in the car. My car locks from the outside when the car's on. So I just did that. Ran in there with the new form. I was like, I have a blank form, so we could just refill that one out if that's okay. And they were like, yeah, we can do that. I went in there, gave it to them, and they were like, it will just take us a minute. And I was like, I'll be back in a couple minutes because my kids are in the car. So I wanted to go back in the car and sit with the kids. They're like, actually, we'll just bring it out to you. And I was like, oh, thank you. I see the lady come out at the door, and so I go and get the form from her. And the funny thing is, I asked them for 2 copies of the paper before I left, like the messed up one. I asked her for a copy of it because just in case the dental office loses it, I want to have a copy, and I'm not home to copy it myself. So I asked them if they could give me a copy, and she was like, oh yeah, sure. And they were having me walk out with it, but they were like, oh wait, actually we should make a copy for our files too. So they made another copy of it. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why they realized that there was an error, because if I walked out with it, I'm pretty sure that nothing would have been realized until way later. So anyways, got the paper from the lady who was standing outside of the door, and they didn't fill out the name portion, and I was kind of annoyed by that because I had to dig for a pen because I was going straight to the dentist office, and I didn't want the dentist, I didn't want to walk into the dentist office and ask for a pen and be like, oh, you see those pens right above my head that I didn't know existed? But anyways, so basically, they didn't fill out the date of birth, the phone number, and the patient's name, which was filled out before. They handed it to me and was like, you can just fill out the name and the date yourself. And I was just like, bruh. I was like a little stressed because I was like, this handwriting's not going to match. So me over there trying to use a like black pen to write my son's name and all of that. Clearly, it was not the same handwriting. But they did say that the doctor should fill out the whole paper. So I didn't say anything and I just left. Then we didn't have any time. We didn't have any time to go back home and eat. So we had to get McDonald's, French fries, 3 blueberry cream pies, and the boys got like 2 Fanta slushies and a Sprite. And I was like asking for barbecue sauces after I ordered 4 large sides of fries. And this guy was gonna hand me the barbecue sauces. He opened the window, he was like, oh, your car is really nice, Nissan Xterra. And I was like, oh, thank you. I asked him for barbecue sauces and he forgot to give me like 3 straws. So he gave me the 2 straws for like the Fanta slushies, but he forgot the other straw. But I didn't want to like let him know he forgot the other straw. So I was like, I lost a straw. Do you mind like getting me another one? And then also, do you have barbecue barbecue sauce. And he was like, oh yeah, sure. He's giving me the barbecue sauce. He's like, how many do you want? And I was like, 3, please. And there's a lady like behind him who's maybe a manager, and she looks at him and she's just like, we only give 1 sauce now. We have to charge extra for the rest. And I was like, I ordered 4 large fries. And she was just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can only get 1 sauce now, and that's all. And I was just like, okay, I'll just take 1 sauce then. But the guy, he like had a whole handful of sauces in his hand, and he turned to me and was just like, how many sauces do you want? And I was like, it's okay, I'll just take the 1 sauce. And he was like, it's okay. And he just handed me like 2 and turned back around with the stack, so it looked like he didn't give me like more than 1, and then put them back in the thing. And it was super slick and funny. And then he forgot about the straw altogether, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I lost a straw, so could you? And he was like, oh yeah. And he gave me the straw, and it was fine. But we can't eat the fries because like we were so hungry, so we didn't notice at first, but the fries are extremely salty. Like they way over salted the fries. Like the kids won't even finish the fries because they were like, they're way too salty, Mom. Somebody put too much salt on the fries. So there's that. And now we need to go back to the school bus. I'm going to try to get there right now. We have a few minutes to get there, so it's going to be a day.
Hi. Hi. Okay, don't touch them.
It's Thursday, and we are on the school bus. Can you get out? Okay.
Oh, hello. How are you doing? Good.
Today we got to the bus, the earliest we have like all week, and I'm super excited about it. Might be the earliest we have like all year. I don't know. 6:25. 5 minutes makes a huge difference. It was great because the bus was warm when we came on. The bus had enough time to actually warm up after my pre-trip. I went in the car and sat with the boys, and then when we came back on the bus, it was like warm in the bus. And we were all just like, ah! So hopefully that's motivation. Hopefully that's motivation for us to do it again tomorrow. We're gonna go now.
Today.
It is Friday the 13th of January. The air pressure is filling up. We're gonna go outside right now and do the light pre-trip portion where we check and make sure all the lights are working. So I'm opening the door now. So all of our lights are working, we're in good shape, and the governor cutout has just been hit. It is like 50 degrees out, so it's not too cold. I'm gonna cut off these lights now. And now we're gonna do the air brake test. So I'll be back because that one gets kind of loud. We're on our way home. I'm so happy it's Friday, guys. Like, it's been such an intense week. One of the things I forgot to tell you about yesterday's vlog was just like chungus. Like, I don't think I recorded very much yesterday because I was just all over the place. It felt like all over the place. Like, yesterday was one of those days where like it started off great, like everything was great, we got there early, we were like doing good and everything, and then all of a sudden everything dropped. The second half we were running super late, things were just like going out of sorts, and it was just wild. But one of the things I forgot to tell you guys about yesterday morning was that there's this one stop that I go to for my elementary. 2 sisters get on, and they have 2 younger siblings, so I'm not sure if they're twins or not, but it's a younger boy and younger girl. They're like maybe 2, I'm not sure. They look younger than Ark. Anyways, every time the bus comes, and their mom's in the driveway with them, so all 4 of them, every time the bus comes, they're beelining for the bus, the 2 little ones who are too young to go to school. And I know these kids' names just because the mom's always like calling their names to tell them like, come back, and it's kind of funny. But so the girl is usually the one that's beelining for the bus. She's gotten into the bus a couple times, and I can't touch them. Like, I'm not gonna put my hands on another person's kid. I just don't feel comfortable touching like a little kid because so much can happen. If the kid were to fall, like just as I touch them, it's gonna look like I pushed them, like, you know what I'm saying? So really, the mom should just be holding the kid's hands when the bus is coming up, because you can see my bus before it comes up to them. You can see it like quite a bit down the road. So she should just hold their hands so they don't run. But anyways, they always are running for the bus, either the boy or the girl. The girl has been the consistent runner, and she's gotten into the bus like 5 times so far. When I say into the bus, like past the stairs. Like she's at like seat D or E by the time like she like gets up and turns around and is like, oh, okay, let me listen to my mom and get off the bus. So on Wednesday morning, the boy, he got on the bus and he was like beelining. He got like halfway to the middle of the bus before he listened to his mom and came off the bus. But this morning, he was beelining for the bus again, and his sister, the older one, she clotheslined him like a linebacker. Like she was just like, oh, and like I thought this kid was gonna hit the floor. Like the way that she was so wild with him, like literally just like put her arm out like this and blocked him, and he just hit into it like that. And she was just like, got him, mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, like Savage unlocked. It was kind of really funny. But for my high school today, there's this guy who, he says hi to me like when he feels like it pretty much, which is like never. And sometimes he'll say like, have a good day, or oh, you too, when I say have a good day in the afternoon. But in the morning, he never says good morning. And when kids don't do that, I'm just like, oh, they're probably just not a morning person. I don't know. Anyway, this morning, I went to go pick up the kids, and he wasn't at the bus stop. So I'm driving down. His house is like between the first bus stop, or between the second bus stop and the third bus stop. So I'm heading down to the third bus stop, and I see him. And it's pitch black out. Like right now, it's really dark in the morning again, which is frustrating because the mirrors help, but they don't help. Like it's like a 50-50. Like I have to take extra precautions when it's dark, because I'll be like sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can't see if there's a kid to the side of the bus or to the back of the bus, even looking in the mirrors, because it's so dark. And I have to like close my door because my door gets in the way of my mirror, like seeing back behind the door. So I have to close my door and sit there for a little bit and like just like kind of let my eyes try to adjust to the darkness, and make sure that there's no one there. And I drive off like really, really slowly. And I am like such an annoyance to cars right now, to other cars that are behind me, but I don't care because I'm trying to make sure that my kids are safe. So basically, I saw him coming up because he was in front of me, thank God. And so I slowed down and I put my yellows back on to be like, oh, I see you. And he starts doing like the SOS, like plane wave, like trying to wave down a plane type deal. And I just thought it was really funny. And then when he came on the bus, I was like, good morning. A lot of bus drivers do this, where if they see a kid like walking to the stop or not at the stop, they will leave them, even if they see them walking to the bus. I'm not that person. I'm not that driver. If I see one of my kids outside and they're walking towards the bus, I'm waiting for them. I don't care if they're walking, because let's be honest, some people cannot run. This wasn't my thoughts last year, but I've seen too many kids falling, trying to run to get to the bus and hurting themselves. So I would rather they walk, and I will sit there and wait for them to walk to the bus. Like it's way better for them to like quicken their pace walking than for them to run. So anyways, I picked him up and he actually said good morning to me this morning. Like when he came on the bus, he was like, I was just like, oh, good morning. And then he was like, oh, good morning. And like he seemed really happy. Like he was happy, like he didn't think that I was gonna pick him up or something. I'm not going to leave a kid that I see trying to get to school. You know what I'm saying? It's just my mentality. Also, when I was in middle school, I had this awesome bus driver, and my brother and I, we were both in middle school at the same time. My brother was always late. He took a really long time to get ready, and so he would never be at the bus stop the first time around, but the bus would turn around somewhere and then come back, and she would pick him up on the opposite side of the road, which she wasn't supposed to do. Now that I am a bus driver, I know she wasn't supposed to do this, but she trusted him that he would only come when that traffic on the left was stopped, and she just wanted to make sure he got to school. So she stopped the traffic on the other side of the road. It was like a double unbroken, and he would come across the street and get on the bus. And she would do that like every time. And so whenever I see a kid that is late for the bus, it's a certain feeling. I'm not encouraging kids to be late to the bus, but for me specifically, I don't mind it. That was a long spiel. Okay. Windows up, please. Alright, we're going out on Clay's side. Okay, I flipped my shirt because if you remember, this shirt like has where I work for on the front. But one of my clients from 3 years ago messaged me and asked me if I still had her photos that I took like 3 years ago. So I'm trying to see if I have them. I'm pretty sure I have them because I don't throw anything away. But I also wasn't expecting anyone to ask me for photos 3 years later because like I give all the photos to everyone. But I understand like things happen. It's just like, it's a little wild though.
Can you just take off your hat?
I don't know what's under my hat. What do you think's under there? Crazy hair?
No, it's your hair like mommy.
My hair's like mommy's.
Yeah.
I have the raw photos that I have right here that I'm looking at right now. I just don't know if I have the edited photos.
The hair, wow. I'm serious. That's a happy amen. Thank you, everyone.
He's over here performing. Okay, so it's 4:26. We just got done with our PM run. Usually we get parked here a little bit earlier, but today we had an elementary school student. She was like refusing to get on the bus. She was like screaming. She was not having it. She didn't want to get on the bus at all. It was like 6 staff members from the school had to come and try to like nicely talk to her and tell her to, you know, sit down. One of them ended up, I think she might have been the guidance counselor because she was the one who had the most luck with her, basically. She knew how to talk to her the most. She just kind of picked her up and like sat her down in the seat and was telling her, you're gonna go see mom and dad and, you know, this and that. It was a lot. And then she finally did get her to sit down and everything, and when she left, I was like, I need to drive away right now. From my own experience, because I have my own kids, obviously, I knew that child was going to start screaming again as soon as that teacher walked away or guidance counselor walked away because the comfort's like gone. She started screaming as soon as the person walked away. I told the kids, like, we have a student that's upset. Let's please keep our voices down today because I didn't want, like, you know, any more triggers or anything like that. We were pretty late dropping the kids off, but luckily the parents were, like, really nice. Might have something to do with my holiday card. Maybe they just thought there was traffic, but no one was upset. Everyone was smiling and happy and stuff. And the good thing is all the kids saw it, so the parents were probably explained to because elementary kids love to talk, and that's a good thing. So got her over to her stop. There are 3 other kids who get off at that stop with her. 2 of them went off, the ones that I was talking about earlier who have siblings that are always trying to run up to the bus in the morning. But she wasn't getting off the bus. She was just sitting in the back screaming. So I kind of got out of my seat, looked at her mom and said, she's having a really hard time today. She didn't want to ride the bus at all, and she's kind of screaming. I knew this child was not going to get up, and I was not going to go and pick this child up and take her to her mom. So the mom just came on the bus and picked her up and walked off the bus with her. After she got off the bus, it felt a lot lighter. Like, everyone was very tense. Kids were asking me, like, what's wrong? What's wrong with her? And that kind of thing. But anyways, right now, it is Friday, so I'm going to clean up, close up all the windows. I'm going to wipe down the seats at the front, do a little bit of sweeping, and then we're going to get out of here. And it's Friday, so Caleb rides the bus with us, so there he is.
What's up, what's up?
What's up?
That's too funny, because all they say usually is, hello, everybody. How you doing, everybody? It's
And
so
I
funny.
feel hot.
Yeah, and that too.
What just happened to this man?
I
Did
don't
he
know.
really just go across the thing and just like
Fell before our not eyes, because all I saw was him on
on the floor? Not on my shoe! This man just stomped my shoe.
sweeping haul for today.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well and tap that notification bell. Thanks for watching and see you soon. More videos come, so please stay tuned.